Hello, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Beyond the Sun presentation of the iLeague Season 3 Dota 2 Chinese qualifiers. Here in the group stage, we're looking at Vici Gaming versus DK, Game 1 of a 2-game series, and we are now looking at a pretty hefty draft. These guys were pretty off the races. As you can see, they didn't use any reserve time, and I can understand this for 1 second. They not only start the game after the delays, but now we have a full draft on our hands. So let's talk about this a little bit. We've got Vengeful Spirit, Gyrocopter, Tusk, and Puck. I think Gyrocopter is actually one of the stronger heroes of this patch just because of how well he deals with multi-target scenarios. Things like the Undying Tombstone, he doesn't really care too much about with his flat cannon. He farms fast with the Ancients, everything like that, but it's going to be interesting to see how they perform with the Tusk and what they're going to be able to accomplish with that hero in particular. I feel the Tusk has been in buff for several patches now, but he got enough buffs in this most recent one that people are really starting to realize it, more than just MMY anyways. But looking at DK, they got the Phantom Lancer, Lion, Phoenix, Invoker. Multi-target really is necessary against the Forward Spirits, against the Phantom Lancer illusions, so Flat Cannon really helps out there. But the interesting question will be whether or not they have enough disable to prevent Phoenix from getting a supernova off, because they do have the Waning Griff instant silence. They can follow that up with a couple of stuns and kill off Phoenix pretty quickly. If they manage that, that would be just amazing. But otherwise, you're going to have to kind of focus down that egg. Gyrocopter pops a flat cannon so everybody else gets hit while he's focused in the egg. And you try to take fights that way. So, kind of been back and forth here. Vici still banning out the Ancient Apparition, Queen of Pain. Looks like DK were afraid of the Wisp in this case, along with the Undying. So, yeah, Broodmother for Ice Ice banned out, as well as the Earthshaker, the Magnus, the Barathrum as well. And we're going to see Enigma instead. So, Dragonite for 290, and Enigma going to be coming out for their secondary support. Ice will be taking the Tusk to the offlane. And offlane Tusk is, I think, probably the ideal. Though you can try to run it as a 4 position, but it's not as good in my mind. So I imagine the really talented and reactionary offlaners that are able to read a situation really well will be able to play Tusk to a high level. Like MMY, he played it really well. No, taking nothing away from him, he played a really good Tusk game in the past few patches. But I really feel that offlane is where it's at for Tusk. If you can get that Blink Dagger out a little bit sooner, or if you can use your Drive-By Snowball in a special way to pick people up, it's all about positioning. It's all about making the right play at the exact right time. And we'll see how well it works out for Ice here. This is, as far as I know, his first Tusk game, but it should be a really fun one. So once again, this is 6.84. For those that don't know, there is that new major patch, and it is bringing us all sorts of interesting stuff. So let's get into it. Starting things off, we've got AK running on the Invoker. Phase Boots first implies to me that he's going Quaz Wex, and he's up against a few intelligence heroes, so that mana burn could be pretty impactful. We've got a 290 pulled a Tango, so I would read that as a solo mid, and we'll see what he ends up doing with that. We're going to be looking at ZP on the supportive Lion. Looks like he's pretty much 5 position, leaving a little wider berth for the support Phoenix, it seems. Yeah, he's got all the items coming out, so it's Han going to be running support Phoenix, dual lanes with Leonly's Black.Z on the Phantom Lancer. So, we're going to see FY with a couple sentries, 3 Clarities, looking to start things off strong here in the eastern jungle. This ward will scout out his movements if he's ever aggressive, but it won't actually prevent him from farming up his trifecta of camps here. So he's still going to be able to kind of get some good GPM to start things off, and we'll have to see. So, we're going to see Fenrir on the 5 position Vengeful Spirit. As a result, he'll be supporting to cover up Enigma's tracks. We've got Hao on the Gyrocopter, who will be farming up in the safe lane with his standard Aquila Rush. Supra's going to be running that Puck in the mid lane, already looking for the Orb, the Null Talisman start. He knows what he wants out of this lane versus Dragonite. And finally, that will leave Ice, of course, with his signature Enchanted Mango on the off lane here. So let's talk Tusk a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. Talk about what this hero can do, because honestly, if people ask me for the past 6 months at least, after the past 3 or 4 patches even, major patches I'm talking, what the most overpowered hero in the game is, I wouldn't go for one of the go-tos. I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, it's Sniper and Troll, it's all these crazily picked heroes. I would say the most overpowered hero is the one that has the most potential, the highest skill cap in all of Dota 2, even if it's not realized primarily. And it looks like my microphone's messing up, so let me check that real quick.
30 seconds to battle.
Testing, failing, now we're in. Okay. So, okay, anyways, back to what I was talking about. I was talking about Tusk in 6.84. Just in general, Snowball is a really good concept. Like, this is an ability that, of course, you use it offensively. Of course, you can scale the movement speed like crazy, just jump forward onto somebody, and that's cool. But the saving ability of this tool, like as an AoE disruption from Shadow Demon, is just incredible. The only weakness is that you go into a clump as soon as you get out of the Snowball, and that can be, you know, AoE stunned by an Earth Spike. In other games, it would be an Axe Call that you have to worry about, stuff like that. Anyways, we'll talk about him more. I'm sure we have plenty of time here. Vici Gaming aren't running a full-on tempo draft. They're kind of running a mid to late game draft, so we'll have about 40-45 minutes at least to talk about this. But for now, let's talk about lanes. I'll get back to the Tusk and his specific changes as we see more of his actions on the map. For now, it's both mids picking up a bounty rune, and Super are really just starting it off strong with this harassment. He's like, okay, well, I know you want exactly one last hit. I'm not even going to let you get close enough to breathe fire on these creeps. And that might work out. Phase shift dodging the breathe fire, keeping up with denies perfectly. Oh, man, this is just awesome. 290. I mean, he's still getting the bottle out, but it is Super really just starting off strong in this lane. It should be fun to see. But he has to trade uphill a little bit here, and we're going to see action instead up top. Again, a 2 versus 2 with the Enigma out of the picture and with the Lion focused down bottom. Lion will try to zone out Ice Ice Ice. Best of luck with that. This guy's got a lot of durability, he's got a lot of regen, the stout shield, and of course he's got some good skills to use that. Unless you're caught out completely out in the lane, like past this line, with the cold snap against you, you're going to be fine. In fact, he'll get the hit of the ice shards here, going to go for a right click and then a snowball, and that should be your first blood. Oh, you just don't mess with the Tusk. He's the snowball from Kobold, and he's going to be doing some work here on the bottom lane. Actually, Courier snipe as well from Super. Super sniped his own enemy's Courier? I don't think I've ever seen a mid snipe their own laning opponent's Courier. Now we're going to see up top the Doppelganger come out. The only going to be jumping away, and the Fire Spirits are going to help as they won't be able to right-click him down. But wow, I don't think I've ever seen another, like in a mid matchup, 1v1, that mid player rotate around, find an opportunity to snipe the enemy's Courier, and then go back to lane. Like, that's just mind-boggling how he could get that kind of rotation. But if you look at Dire Vision, of course, they're completely blind here. If you leave the river, it could be ganking top, it could be ganking Couriers, we'll see. The Courier does deliver its bottle, so 290 won't be lacking that. But because he didn't get either of the 2-minute runes, he's going to be low in mana, only 1 Breathe Fire left. So this is going to get pretty intense for him very quickly. As far as last hits go, Hao's doing really good up top. Already got his boots and magic wand up. We're going to see the Enigma doing pretty good. The Soul Ring start didn't have to use these sentries at all, so those will be banked for later. And down bottom, Ice 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 feeling pretty good about himself after that first blood. Last hits or not, he's gotten 4, but most importantly, he's gotten the kill on the Lion. And I think he got the Bounty Rune. Yeah, he got the Bounty Rune bottom too. So, Tusk, as a hero, is pretty awesome. Let me just scroll down to his exact changes for 6.84 specifically. They reduced the cost of Ice Shard, so it's only 90 mana at all ranks. The cooldown is down by 1 second at each rank, which, well, actually, it's 1 second for the first rank, and 1 second for the last. Yeah, okay, anyways. We'll look at the scaling. It is 19, 16, 13, 10. It's a little weird, but when he gets down to 10 seconds, the shard duration, the blocking effect, has a 7-second up time. So that means you only have 3 seconds where a path is not completely blocked out. And wow, Han and Black.Z have to watch themselves right there. That is a lot of damage coming in just from the neutral creeps. But Wave of Terror, get some Flat Cannon down. Those are 2 heroes that are going to go down quick, and it looks like they're both backing off. This is a little bit odd, because usually you see one person back off and one person play very reserved. So at least you get some experience on the lane. But in this case, it's so pushed back and they're so low HP that they both retreat at the same time. It does mean they're going to be able to fight sooner because they're going to be both available at full HP, but they don't stagger it out. They lose out on a lot of experience up top. So 2-1-0 build for the Avenge. The smoke will break. Super. Looks like he'll still get the Bounty Rune, but ZP is going to take a stun, and there's going to be the Orb. He'll maybe still go for the Jaunt after he picks up the Bounty Rune now. Too much coverage here from the Phoenix, but still some good harassment back the other way. So yeah, it is Quaswex Invoker, as I was saying. Phase Boots to start on him, and he'll be getting some decent CS here, 23 and 7. Ake's off to a pretty good start, but Ice, all he has to do is really get a Blink Dagger and level 6. If he gets that, the mobility of this hero, the ability to react to situations is just insane. And then he can go for a right-click build or something along those lines. There's also the Aghanim Scepter, which seems neat. I'm not sure if it's that great, but it could be. It definitely, depending on who's using it, I could say that ability could be very powerful.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
So, looking at the early lead here, over 3,100 net worth in favor of Vici Gaming, almost 3K in terms of experience. We're going to see TP's in, trying to deal with this puck, but he's doing really well for himself right now. He's level 6, along with the Enigma. And Enigma, of course, is now making his first rotation. They've got Fenrir and FY, a lot of stun coming out from these two, and they're going to see what they can accomplish. This isn't a level 1 Roche play or anything, but it is going to be a good kill opportunity perhaps on the Invoker. The Sentry Ward that he had for his jungle camps is still there. So if you connect with a stun and you drop a Sentry, you should be able to pin down this Invoker no problem at all. So we'll see the flank come through. This is pretty obvious that there is no Venge up here though, so he might be playing it safe. And okay, he falls back just past the creep wave at just the right time, but we'll see the Ice Shards, the Snowball come in anyways, and despite the Ghost Walk, they've got the Sentry Ward, Walrus Punch, Magic Missile, and Invoker's Death. And they can start pushing the tower pretty decently here. I mean, they've got Eidolons up, they've got some Vengeance Aura for Venge's level 4, she just got that, so yeah, I'd say this tower's going to go down very quickly. Without a Glyph, they're actually just going to lose it straight up. Wow, that is actually very unfortunate for DK. And up top, they do lose the Phoenix as well. The call down committed. That was just a solo gyrocopter. How all by himself brings the Phantom Lancer down to this HP level and kills off the Phoenix directly. This is just a level advantage he's accrued at this point in the game. And some really nice usage of his capabilities, obviously. So, Hal doing some work all by his lonesome. And that's going to give us a significant net worth lead. I mean, look at that. 4 heroes on top of net worth, including Ice on the off lane. I mean, that's just incredible. Did he get the last 2 on the tower? Yeah, Tusk did get the last 2 on the tower, so that's why he's all the way up at 3K here in 7 minutes. But that's still pretty intense. Like, you might just find yourself a competitive Tusk record breaker right here, just because most people don't run him in a very core positions. But he is down bottom being pressured here by the Phantom Lancer as well as the Lion. Gonna try to get out of this one, but it's a little tough. He has mana for sure, but as far as getting his skills off, getting the right clicks, the Stout Shield blocks, oh, he still goes down in the end. Close call, but he couldn't just walk in there and help out effectively enough. There were 3 people converging on 1, and they do have to give that kill up. So, point on the board for DK, making the right move here. And they do rotate Alke up top. So he really wants to get that Hand of Midas out quick. So we'll see how that works out for him. Nice rejoin room for DK. Gonna help him out a lot as far as sustaining on this lane. But I find it interesting. FY is now saying, okay, well, Dire jungle was pretty good. You blocked my camp exactly once, and now your jungle's mine. Is essentially what we're looking at there. We're gonna see the Dream Coil connect onto Dragonite though, and there where we see with Suns. I can't actually say a sentence here apparently, but we do see the gank on Dragonite. It is a 4v1, and that is a nice clean kill for them. Still topping out this net worth chart insanely well. This is pretty bad. If DK can't put 1 person in the top 4 within the next 5 minutes, then I can't think this early or mid game will go effectively at all. But you know, we've got the Phoenix here at level 4. We've got the line at level 5. Once those ultis start coming out, we have some real potential between these heroes. So they'll just have to wait for their right opportunity. We are going to see Doppelganger come through, snowball away, but the Ice Shark blocks him out. Where do you run? Where do you hide? No chance at all. He'll get nuked down. There's no damage coming in from the Phoenix and Lion particularly, but Invoker's coming in with the Tornado EMP. FY will go down. Ice, kind of on his last legs right here. And yes, he will be finished off by the Dragonite. So that's a great way to get a comeback going. We will see tower pressure on top as a result. The Ring of Aquila Aura, the Vengeance Aura doing their thing, but I still feel like that's a really good rotation from DK. And they're going to try to kind of even the odds a little bit. As you can see, at least Invoker's on the grid now. And it looks like Phantom Lancer will be going for the headdress this time around. Not uncommon. And indeed, Midas comes out for the Invoker before the 10-minute mark, so not the end of the world there. It's just got to be these supports to really come online. We've got the Smoke online. He's got the Finger of Death. And I think there's going to be some real kill potential here. Get the Dragon Knight involved too would be really nice, because he's got the Elder Dragon form, he's got that bottle sip, so he's got the potential to unleash his full volley of spells here. But in the meantime, we're going to see Phantom Lancer up top, jumped on, nice usage of the snowball, the Walrus Punch, and connecting before he can doppel. Or even in spite of the doppel, rather. So we're going to see that line gank, as I was talking about. We're going to look at Puck. They want him with the Dragon Tail. They're going to get some good damage. Where's the Hex, though? They missed the Earth Spike. They don't get the Hex. It's a black hole from FY. Turning it around. The tornado comes through, but the Lion's already dead. FY's done his job and will retreat, taking no damage from that EMP. Now the Dream Coil onto 2. Inside the call down. Do they have the Sentry? They sure do. Sentry comes out. AK will fall, and that leaves the Tier 1 tower in mid as well. What a turnaround from Vici Gaming. FY finding the opening. Seems like such a lackluster black hole, but because he didn't use Hex or Finger yet in that fight, it was actually of high impact. That was a really big deal. Forces to Tornado, trading that out early on in the fight, and they take it. In fact, they take another tower, it looks like. Yeah, they got that top tower without any contest, and now suddenly they only go for the Doppelwalk, but the Walrus Punch should find him out. No, they get the illusion. So they will leave the Phantom Lancer to run away. In fact, he's charging back in, going for the return kills. They focus too much on the illusion, and now he will be able to bring down the Puck. Now looking for Ice. The Lance connects. Ice, though. He's got that snowball. Gonna hit a bit nice AoE stun, but in the end, Han will be able to walk away from this. Ice, not so much. Almost gets him, but he pops a Supernova in the end at level 6 here. Fenrir will be in full retreat, and the How's call down completely wasted. So we see Fenrir getting killed off by the PL. It looks like he'll get a little bit more range, and then the last lance will come through. But yeah, on the back line, Howe tried to kind of come in through the trees here, get a call down on the back, but they were going so far forward north that it didn't really make a difference. Back over to the net worth, we're going to see some still good control from Vici Gaming on as far as their overall gold income, and that's due to the towers. Right now, they're following up kills with towers. Ooh, Invis, super. Looking for an opening. How I think has call down. No, just the right clicks here, but should be enough to bring down at least the Phoenix, who has already exhausted his egg. And now with the haster, and they want to go on to Phantom Lancer 2, but they're not going to be able to prevent that TP, unfortunately. Down bottom, FY pressuring with the Eidolons, but that's all said and done. He's just happy to have this mechanism, really. And I like the idea of the Enchanted Mango here on the Enigma. He didn't start off with it. This is not a laning mango or a jungling mango or anything like that. This is a mango that he wants to get the benefit, a burst benefit from of the mana restored. And in the middle of a fight, if you can get 150 mana from Soul Ring and 150 mana from the mango, that's actually extremely valuable for the Enigma spell set, because he wants to use Mechanism, he also wants to use Black Hole. Those are expensive abilities. Dragon Knight getting caught out. Pretty tanky with the Magic Wand. It looks like he'll be okay. And in fact, Ice. Gonna lose all his mana. Fenrir too. So without any mana, they're really not able to do too much, but seems they still want to collaborate down bottom. A little surprising, because again, it's really hard to do anything without any mana, but if they found the opportunity to blink Waiting Rift, maybe they could still find something. As it is, though, they have to kind of play a little bit more passively as they go for this tier 2 push, but they still have the siege merits. I mean, they have the auras from the Gyrocopter, the Eidolons from the Enigma, and no contest from DK. So mana or not, they'll be alright, and Super is giving everybody some bottle charges just to make sure they can do something. I don't know about tier 3 pressure, though. Even when they do get the Arcane Boots out from the Tusk, I don't see that really happening. So we'll just see them slow roll it, get control of the Radiant Jungle as best they can, and kind of go from there. Up top, we are going to be seeing the Puck look to control this top tower. He's got Phase Shift against Lance, but doesn't make the first dodge. It's okay, though. He still has some HP to work with. Here in mid, it's Invoker or Dragon Knight that are being pursued, and Ice is the one who wants them, but we won't see him just yet connecting with anything, so we'll just keep an eye here on the western flank. It looks like everything's fine. Everybody's looking for the deny, and how lends his hand to that. So I'll talk about Tusk real quick. Not only the cooldown reduction of Ice Shards, The fact is, it does last 7 seconds. It's practically an Earthshaker Fisher, just in a completely different geometric sense. Then we've also looked at the fact that it gives a little bit more vision when you cast it, so you know that you hit somebody with it for sure. And now the snowball speed is constant, so it doesn't matter if you load up 3 other heroes and 5 meepos into your snowball to make it really that impactful. It's always going to be going at 675 ms, which is a pretty good speed for just rolling into people and them not being able to react too quickly. But yeah, now you can add allies to snowball while rolling, so you don't necessarily need that blink dagger first, but in the end he still picks it up. So you can check it out right here. He went for the and again missing the air spike. That's very unfortunate. And Super looks like he'll get out. But yeah, if you look at Ice items, he started out with the Arcane, Magic Wand, Stout Shield, and Bracer, and then he went for the Blink Dagger. A few stats, a little bit of tools to work with his mana, but eventually still goes for this Blink because of how high impact it actually can be. So he's going to be able to load people up while he's snowballing past them, and of course he has that Aghanim Scepter that he could actually go for the Walrus Kick in addition to the Punch. But the net worth has kind of stagnated here. They did get the deny on that top tier 1 tower. They have taken out 4 towers in total against the Radiant against DK. And DK are looking for their comeback swing. They've got the Supernova ready. They've got the Smoke and Seed active. They dropped themselves down a ward, and they're going to be looking for a gank. It looks like Super's the best bet, but he's got a blink and a phase shift. How fast does he react? Oh, too fast for you. And that is going to be breaking the smoke, enabling the Roshan. Double damage rune is, I thought what I heard, but it's an invis rune for Puck. And yeah, we're going to see Ice just tank up Roche. He's got the sigil. Even at 1 point, it's still pretty valuable. 30 attack speed slow onto Roche is going to limit how much he puts out here. And the Wave of Terror expedites their kill process. So overall, good play against Roshan here. And they're going to mech up. They're going to be able to claim that. And it looks like the Eidolons don't even want to get involved. So the Aegis will go to Hao on the Gyrocopter, and he's going to be very involved in the next couple fights. In the meantime, Super invis stalking up for a secondary smoke attempt here, just trying to break it if anybody tries to approach. There is a courier hanging about. I don't know what it's trying to do, but it is here. And Phantom Lancer pushing up top. He should have TP, yeah. No BOTs, but at least has the scroll, which allows him to kind of move about more confidently here. So good observer wards coming out from the Dire side here, kind of blocking off this camp, as well as, of course, had some control on this ridge here. So they know about the Lion, for example, right now. Even though he has the Blink, they have ways of getting some long-range damage output against him, and one Wave of Terror connecting could mean he dies. And in fact, they're just going to Blink Waning Rift. Yeah, range of initiation is there, the surprise as well. And they get that kill, and he's pinging out here. They're like, oh, they probably saw you from this ward. Nope, not in the right ballpark. So we're going to see BKB come out for Hao pretty soon. He's going to be looking for that immunity just to man up a little bit more in the fights. If he pops BKB and a flat cannon and just right-clicks the Supernova egg, there's pretty much nothing they can do to him. They have no magic immunity piercing disable other than the Phoenix egg itself. And again, the flak, if you just hit the egg, it'll bounce to everything else. It doesn't work the other way around, so you still have to focus the egg. But with his drums and phase boots, as well as BKB, he should have no problem accomplishing that. And it's kind of scary to have a support just walk right up to you here. DK just in this position, now he's going to get jumped on. This is not really a fully committed kill attempt. That's just playing around with him on this ledge. You look 7 seconds, he's locked in position, can't move at all, thanks to those pretty much picture-perfect ice shards. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more Tusk. He's going to get to a point where some people are playing him so well that a lot of people regard him as imbalanced. Only imbalanced in the right hands, but still a little bit imbalanced. And we're going to see the MP not come out in time. Magic Missile into the black hole. No Midnight Pulse, but still doing some good damage here. Super will look to clean it up with his nukes. That's going to be the Enigma killing off the Evoker, the Phoenix falling as well. And just a great opportunity for those two to combine their forces and make the big plays happen. Now Puck has a Yules, and soon enough he'll have the max phase shift to complement it. So just looking at items overall, Orchid's going to be coming out on the Invoker pretty soon, but I'm not sure how effective it'll be. Actually, there's a small skirmish on a Hao, just a Spirit Lance it looks like. But yeah, I'm not sure how effective this Orchid is going to be, because by that point, everybody's going to have BKBs that you really want to silence, or Euls in the case of Puck. And then also, the really good big strength of the Invoker having the Orchid is all about isolating kills. You go into the enemy jungle, and you start ganking. You find somebody all by themselves, you open with the Orchid, Cold Snap, and then you EMP them. And that should lock them in place, take all their mana, do a bunch of damage that's amped up by the Orchid, while they can do absolutely nothing to respond. Because they can't really attack against Cold Snap, they can't really cast against Orchid, so it's a good way to just block somebody out. Oh, Walrus Punch, or just a Snowball. Either way, we'll finish him off. And that's going to bring down the Phantom Lancer, farming a little bit too deep. But yeah, and the Orchid is all about like roaming around the dire jungle, finding isolated kills, just playing it like a Clinks would. And in this case, there's no option there. They're going 5-man Dota. They've got 2 heroes with BKBs, one with a mech, one with a Euls. Just way too many ways to respond to this Orchid that I really feel like it's going to be completely obsolete by the time it's picked up. And I would say in part that's due to the Hand of Midas. It's kind of greedy to go Wex Invoker and go Midas into Orchid. If you're having a really good game, that build works fine, and it's actually probably the best build. But in this context, he's far from having the time of his life. He is 360 GPM with a Hand of Midas. That's only 100 last hits to his name, and he's 1 and 3.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
So we'll see one of the last clashes of the game here. They've accrued a significant advantage with Roche and all these outer towers. Every outer tier tower taken care of here, and now we've got 15,000 gold, 12,000 experience, and they're going to jump in. They're going deeper, really? Oh my. They're blinking forward. They're still going further into the base rather than further away, and they don't seem to mind it at all. They're doing some chip damage to the tower here, and they'll go with the next set of Eidolons, it seems. Mech those creeps up, and put yourself in a position to aggress. But yeah, I mean, just the fact that we're looking at 16,000 net worth and advantage of 21.5 is pretty insane. Midnight Pulse, Ice Shards, be only caught out completely here. If they had vision, they would actually... Did he just walk through Ice Shards? I guess they were kind of melting. They were timing out. I don't know, that was weird. Alright, so the BKB will come out on the Dragonite in about 1100 gold. But Howe still got this Aegis? Oh no, he just used it. It just expired within the past 10 seconds. Never mind. So they're a little bit more tentative about engaging here, but I'm especially going into high ground against like the Tornado EMP, the Supernova, all that good stuff. It's a little dangerous. So they'll drop the ward. If they find a really good opening, they'll go for it. But as it stands right now, it's going to be them initiating against them. BKB popped out. The Snowball against 290. But their Midnight Pulse doing a lot of damage here against the Dragonite. They will lose the line on the back end. The Supernova pops, but doesn't accomplish too much. They've already killed the Dragonite, now killing off Leonli. Will they be able to bring him down? So close! So many illusions! Oh, the Black Hole! Onto 2, onto 3 even to finish it off. And that's going to wrap it up here. 5-man wipe in the base here. 22.5 minutes into the game. And that's going to be the top lane going down. Man, just such a good game for Vici Gaming. 20-7. They found in time to make what I would consider a mid to late game lineup. Like Gyrocopter, Enigma, those guys can go as late as need be. But they turn it into a tempo lineup anyways because of how well they executed on their lanes. If Ice hadn't gotten First Blood, if they hadn't prevented every support gank from succeeding on the side of DK, then I think that this would have still been a game they dragged out 30 or 40 minutes. But they saw their advantage, they saw their time to just go for it, and they took every tower in the book. So, pretty awesome stuff. And here's a kind of portrait of things to come. Or Solar Crest on Tusk. I think that's actually completely legit. He's all about setting up damage for teammates. He's not necessarily about doing damage himself. So this kind of an item really suits the playstyle of Tusk, where he really just wants to get in there, get involved, start taking away the enemy's damage, and start dealing more damage to them. So Solar Crest, I think, is going to be very powerful. And of course, you can put it on an ally to give them evasion and armor as well. So very flexible item. Ice. Maybe he is just trolling. I just realized they have 2 Solar Crests. So I could see it being really good on Tusk, I'll say that, but it looks like they're just trading Solar Crest back and forth between Fenrir and Ice, and they probably shouldn't read too much into it. So, we're going to see potentially a Waning Rift gank coming out here onto Leonli. He has only 1 illusion left. They see it on the Dire Observer ward, and they're going to make their play. So, if he just dilly-dallies, if he makes any wandering movements, they're going to find him, and the Blink's initiation doesn't get a chance. He doesn't have a defusal to purge that silence off, and there's no way he could get out. So, Here we see them just finding out the Enigma. They do kill off FY here, and in fact we're going to see 290. The Dream Coil whiffs! Super no! Maybe he broke it. I don't know, but either way, 290 caught in a bad spot here. Going to be going down for sure, but they might set up a really good Supernova. These Ice Shards work against them. They're not able to actually attack into the egg, so they're going to just blink out here. Now the Ice Shard's against the Lion. He's kind of caught inside the call down. Look at this Valor. Oh man, the Solar Crest doing some good work here, and it is going to be costing them all of their lives. It's just a full wipe. It's a casual wipe at that. They didn't even commit everything they could to that fight, but they're like, yeah, we can just fight this. And FY's like, come on guys, it's a gem. It's my gem. I bought that. Please bring me back my jewelry. But yeah. It's still a really good game from Vici Gaming. It kind of felt over to me when the top racks fell, but they fought it out a couple more rounds. They win a couple more bouts in the ring against the Tusk, but in the end they just couldn't hold. The gold advantage became a mountain against DK, and they have to really work on their lanes. I mean, I like the idea of a dual lane with a third carry. I mean, Phantom Lancer going up top with the Phoenix was pretty neat, but you saw how little it actually ended up accomplishing. How? Still farmed up a ton of items really early on. Phantom Lancer didn't even find his Diffusal Blade, so gotta sort some of that stuff out. There are some teams that even draft like a zero carry lineup just to try to get out of the laning stage against Vici, just to last more than 20 or 30 minutes. But in this case, they kind of go for a greedy Tricore with the Invoker, PL, and Dragonite, and it doesn't pay off fast enough. We see Vici Gaming taking it to them in 25 minutes, and that takes it away for game number 1 here in the group stage of iLeague China. Game 2 going to be coming up in just a few minutes, guys. Thanks for tuning in here to Beyond the Summit. If you guys enjoyed the commentary, although brief with the 25-minute game, you guys can look me up at twitter.com/blazecasting. So just bright and early in the morning for me, but I've still got 3 more games to go. So we're going to be seeing Game 2 of DK versus Vici here in a few minutes, and you guys should stay tuned for that. We'll see some more awesome stuff from ISIS, I'm sure.